Beneath the endless green of the Amazon, great civilizations once thrived. For centuries, the jungle guarded their secrets, hiding cities beneath roots and vines. But these were no simple tribes. They engineered the rainforest itself. Through skill and science, they created terra preta, rich, black soil that turned infertile ground into farmland. Villages blossomed into networks connected by roads and rivers, fish ponds, orchards, and raised fields fed thousands. These societies were masters of water. They carved canals and ditches to control floods, weaving human design into nature's fabric. Their homes, built from palm and wood, stood on stilts above the swampy earth. Art and ritual flourished too. Ceremonies honored forest spirits, while intricate pottery and woven hammocks reflected a life in harmony with the jungle. But disease and conquest erased much of their story, leaving myths of lost cities in their place. Today, satellites reveal what the jungle hid for centuries. Geometric earthworks, vast and planned, proving that the Amazon was not wild, but a living masterpiece shaped by human hands. In the heart of North America, along the great rivers, a remarkable culture rose: the mound builders. From around 800 CE, they shaped the land into colossal earthworks, some larger than the pyramids of Egypt. These mounds were not mere piles of soil. They were sacred landscapes, platforms for temples, homes of leaders, and burial sites for the honored dead. Cahokia, near present-day St. Louis, became their crown jewel. At its height, this city pulsed with life, tens of thousands of people, bustling markets, and grand plazas where rituals bound society together. Monk's Mound towered above all, a testament to human ambition without stone or metal tools. Trade flowed through Cahokia like blood in veins. Copper from the Great Lakes, shells from the Gulf, obsidian from the Far West. Such wealth fueled power, but also tension. Famine, conflict, and environmental strain eventually toppled this vibrant world. When Europeans arrived centuries later, these monuments stood silent, their builders' names forgotten, but their legacy remained etched in earth. In the arid lands of the American Southwest, where rain was a rare blessing, ingenuity carved life from stone and clay. The ancestral Puebloans, once called the Anasazi, built entire worlds into cliffs and canyons. Their homes clung to sheer rock walls, safe from enemies and storms. Chaco Canyon became their heart. Here, massive stone complexes rose, great houses with hundreds of rooms, ceremonial kivas sunk deep into the earth, and roads stretching for miles in perfect alignment with the stars. These were not mere villages, but planned cities, designed with cosmic precision. To survive the desert, they mastered water. Dams, reservoirs, and irrigation channels turned dust into fertile fields, where corn, beans, and squash sustained thriving communities. Their culture pulsed with ceremony. Dances, chants, and intricate art spoke to spirits of sky and earth. But by the 13th century, drought and conflict drove them from their stone citadels. Still, their descendants, the Hopi, Zuni, and others, carry their memory in songs and traditions that endure to this day. The desert, once home to empires, still whispers their story through silent ruins. For the peoples of the Americas, the world was alive. Every river, mountain, and tree held a spirit. Life was a balance between the seen and the unseen, a harmony that guided rituals, songs, and prayers. From the Arctic to the Andes, beliefs shaped daily life. The Inuit honored the souls of hunted animals, offering thanks for survival. In the forests, shamans spoke with spirits through visions and drums. The Maya charted the heavens, seeing divine order in the stars, while the Inca worshipped Inti, the sun, as the giver of life. Ceremonies marked every season: planting and harvest, birth and death. Masks and dances brought gods among the people. Temples soared to the sky, altars smoked with offerings, and sacred fires burned through the night. These were not myths to them, they were truth, woven into existence. To live was to honor the forces that breathe through earth and sky. Even today, echoes remain. In festivals, prayers, and traditions, the sacred world of the first Americans still speaks. In the Valley of Mexico, on a shimmering lake, the Aztecs built a city of dreams, Tenochtitlan. Rising from the water like a vision, it was a marvel of engineering, canals, causeways, and floating gardens that fed a vast population. At its heart stood the Templo Mayor, where priests climbed blood-stained steps to honor the gods. For the Aztecs, sacrifice was sacred, life fed life. They believed the sun itself demanded blood to rise each day, and warriors fought not to kill, but to capture for the offering. Markets bustled with cacao beans, feathers, gold, and obsidian blades sharp as glass. Artisans shaped jade into jewelry, poets sang verses of love and death, and warriors wore jaguar pelts into battle. The empire grew through conquest, ruling millions, yet its brilliance burned briefly. In 1519, strangers with steel, guns, and disease arrived, and the lake city that stunned the world fell in flames. Still, the Aztec spirit lingers, in language, in food, in the pulse of Mexico itself. Before European ships appeared, the Americas were already connected by vast networks of trade. From the icy north to the steaming tropics, goods, ideas, and stories traveled along invisible highways. In the forests of the east, copper moved from the Great Lakes to distant villages. In the deserts, turquoise gleamed in the hands of traders bound for Mexico. Across the Andes, llamas carried salt, textiles, and coca leaves along royal roads that climbed to the clouds. These routes were more than commerce. They were lifelines of culture. Songs, myths, and rituals flowed with the goods, weaving distant peoples into shared traditions. A parrot's feather in a northern village told of journeys across thousands of miles. Markets became centers of life. Here, farmers, artisans, and merchants met in a riot of color. Pottery, woven cloth, obsidian blades, dried fish, and cacao beans clinking like currency. Trade was trust, sealed by alliances, marriages, and sacred oaths. Long before colonization, the Americas were not isolated worlds, but a living web of exchange, innovation, and connection. High in the rugged spine of South America, the Inca carved an empire from mountains and clouds. From Cusco, their sacred capital, roads stretched like veins across 25,000 miles, binding deserts, valleys, and snowbound peaks into a single realm. The Inca were master builders. Without iron or the wheel, they shaped stone so perfectly that walls at Machu Picchu still stand unshaken by centuries of storms. Terraces climbed the mountainsides, turning cliffs into fields of maize and potatoes, while aqueducts carried life-giving water through the heights. Their empire pulsed with order. A vast network of messengers ran the roads, carrying knotted strings, quipus, to record tribute and store memory. Labor was their tax. Gold and silver adorned temples, but food sustained power. At its heart stood the Sapa Inca, a ruler worshipped as the child of the sun. His word was law, his presence divine. But even this mighty realm, born from stone and sky, would shatter when strangers came with steel and smallpox. Still, the Andes whisper their legacy, etched in ruins that kiss the clouds. Imagine a world untouched by Europe's sails, where empires rose and fell without ever hearing the word Columbus. The Americas before colonization were not empty lands. They were alive with civilizations. The first humans crossed into this vast continent over 15,000 years ago, following herds across an icy land bridge. Step by step, they spread through mountains, forests, and plains, adapting to every environment. By the time Europe even dreamed of crossing oceans, millions of people thrived here, from the frozen Arctic, where Inuit hunters carved life out of ice, to the Amazon rainforest, where complex trade networks flourished. The land was a tapestry of cultures. Villages, cities, and sacred sites dotted the land. Languages, traditions, and belief systems evolved independently, shaping unique worlds within a continent. These were societies built on ingenuity. Without iron, horses, or wheels, they created monuments that defied time. This was the stage long before conquest, a continent full of stories, waiting to be told. Agriculture changed everything. What began as small gardens of maize and beans grew into vast fields feeding entire communities. No longer chasing herds, families settled, building homes clustered in villages. Life became rooted in the earth. Farming meant more than food, it shaped culture. Ceremonies honored the spirits of corn and rain. Calendars marked planting and harvest, guiding the rhythm of existence. With stability came new skills: pottery for storage, weaving for warmth, and intricate baskets for trade. Trade networks stretched across hundreds of miles, carrying shells from the coast, obsidian from mountains, and bright feathers from tropical forests. These exchanges tied distant peoples together, weaving a continent-wide web of connection. Villages grew into centers of power. Leaders emerged, organizing labor, protecting fields, and guiding spiritual life. The first whispers of social hierarchy began, laying the foundation for complex societies. What began as scattered gardens now pulsed with life. a transformation that would lead to monumental cities and empires. Long before cities rose, the first Americans were wanderers. They traveled in small bands, hunting mammoths and gathering wild plants across an unforgiving landscape. These early people were masters of survival, crafting tools from stone, bone, and wood, reading the land like an open book. As the Ice Age ended, the world changed. Forests replaced tundra, rivers swelled, and massive beasts vanished forever. The hunters adapted, forming permanent settlements near fertile valleys and rivers teeming with fish. Agriculture slowly transformed life. Corn, beans, and squash, the three sisters, became the foundation of a new way of living. From the high plains to dense forests, communities began to flourish. They built homes from earth and wood, shared harvests, and honored the spirits that governed nature. Their calendars followed the sun, their stories flowed with the seasons. These were not primitive drifters, but skilled innovators, shaping environments and societies that would last for centuries. The seeds of great civilizations were already sown. Far to the north, where winter ruled and the sun vanished for months, the Inuit carved out an existence on frozen seas. Here, survival demanded brilliance. They built homes from snow, igloos that trapped warmth like a mother's embrace, and hunted seals, walrus, and whales across shifting ice. Every tool was a triumph of adaptation. Harpoons tipped with bone-pierced blubber, sleds glided over snow, pulled by loyal dogs bred for endurance. Clothing, stitched from animal hides and lined with fur, turned hunters into living fortresses against the cold. This was not a barren wasteland. It was a world alive with meaning. Spirits dwelled in the wind, the water, and the creatures they hunted. Songs rose under the aurora, green lights dancing above endless white. Community meant survival. Each seal fed many mouths, and every hunt bound families in trust. In a land where a single mistake could kill, cooperation was life's first law. When Europeans came, they saw desolation. They never understood the mastery hidden beneath that icy silence. Deep in the jungles of Mesoamerica, the Maya built cities that touched the sky. Towering pyramids rose from the green canopy, their steps leading to temples where priests read the stars like sacred texts. The Maya were masters of time. Their calendar, precise beyond belief, predicted eclipses and aligned with the cycles of planets. To them, time was not just days and years, but a divine rhythm guiding life, war, and ceremony. Their cities, like Tikal and Palenque, pulsed with trade and politics. Kings ruled from palaces carved with stories in stone, while scribes etched history in glyphs, one of the most complex writing systems on Earth. Yet beneath the splendor lay struggle. Crops fed growing populations, but drought and war strained their world. Temples crumbled, cities emptied, and the jungle reclaimed its glory. Still, the Maya never vanished. Their descendants carry on languages, rituals, and traditions that endured the centuries. The ruins stand silent now, but their stones still whisper of a people who mapped the cosmos and ruled the rainforest.